Hello, so guys, back to the political drama. So it's Kenya for us and Kenya for you. You know what happens, and if you know, you know. If you don't know, then forget about it. So guys, back to the NYAYO Stadium. I know many of you already know what happened, and we're gonna play back this video to us just to reflect on what's happening, and we'd go to the criticism beyond just what we can see. Now, one thing is about Raila. Somebody said once that he's a goddess among some tribes and among some political, enthusiasts. And so we can see actually that now after failing in the seat that he just did, there was the handshake. And you remember I made another video asking you, what are we going to lose? And you can actually see what we are losing. The people's sanity has been lost, and it has just gone into now worshipping this man who has been there for a while, and nobody thinks they are so, better than him, maybe to step up and take the mantle for leadership. Now, guys, you actually now see what is going to happen in the opposition. It's like the opposition is going to calm and nothing's gonna happen. Nobody will lay a hand or question the government. Now, you remember that video I made? I pointed out at Sifuna. You remember? Sifuna has been one controversial individual that has not been standing with the government for a very long time. But that day, you remember how he was up to Alleluia and in arms celebrating what had happened as in the name of handshake. Now, many Kenyans who are sent cannot be happy with this because actually the future is not bright, it's dim. Why? Because now there's nobody will hold the government accountable. Now, people are not even going to listen to statements from Gachagua or anybody who questions whatever the government does. However sane they are, however focused they are, nobody's gonna listen to them. Now, one thing for sure can be actually shown from whatever happened on Saturday at NYAYO Stadium. So I'm just going to play a small clip of this, and I want you to reason with all your abilities. And for those of you who are radical and critical and think beyond what you can just see, what do you think about this? Now, when you look at Ikonini asks and has so many questions about whatever happens in politics, and he goes deeper into the history and the future. We have all other people also who ask about what is happening now and the future. So I want you to just place yourself at this now, look at that. Now let's set out and look at this.
By afternoon, the 30,000-seat stadium was nearly at full capacity. However, just before kickoff, security at one of the gates were overwhelmed as fans forced their way in, allowing both ticketed and non-ticketed spectators to enter. As excitement for the game reached fever pitch, political tensions flared, with spectators of the crowd chanting "Ruto must go" in protest. On the terraces, drama unfolded as Mumias East Member of Parliament PK SALASYA, who was wearing an AFC Leopards jersey, was roughed up by a section of fans before being escorted out of the stadium by police and his security team. The lawmaker was whisked away towards his car as tensions escalated. On the pitch, Gabon secured victory with a break.
The criticism. So guys, reaction tells me that in Kenya, many people don't use their brains. Rather, they use other people's brains. And no wonder what happened at NYAYO Stadium happened. Now tell me if these people are not hired. These are goons that were specifically hired to go attack. I don't think it just happened from nowhere, or rather a prompt aspect. It is something that is well planned. This is Kenya for us. And if you know, you know. If you don't know, forget about it. So you actually saw how PK SALASYA was chased away. And as I've told you, and previously in the previous video, I told you that after Raila comes back, everything that the Gen Z and whoever has done is washed down the trail. So if you think Kasongo is going any soon, forget about it. He's not going anywhere because now there's no opposition, and many Kenyans are afraid of facing this, and they would rather stay cool and let things happen because they think Raila Odinga is a goddess that they worship, or rather a god. Yeah. So if you look at what happened at the stadium, it is indicated that Salasya had talked ill of Raila. Who doesn't talk ill of politicians? Because there are so many things they do right and there are so many things they do wrong. So what do you expect? Of course, we expect that they'll always be critiqued. Now, the problem of Kenya, many people have said, and if you have read Fathers of Nation, the problem of countries is not the leaders, it is the voters, and it's the supporters. Supporters are so drunk, and somebody said in philosophy that the poor are drunk, yeah? And feed the poor people with very little, very little information, and they'll turn against one sane person. No wonder we cannot go far. And our politics are still very raw, very premature, that we leave the mantle to one person and believe he will be there forever. Can you imagine at the age of Raila that everybody still worships him and thinks he's the goddess that knows about politics and should be the one leading everything? Okay, let it be, because that is what you want actually. And I don't think then it's right for people to go virtual crying about their problems. The Tanzanian, there is this preacher from Tanzania who said, Kabla Ruto got into government, what was your amount on the account? And after that, what is the amount? And people are like, okay, so that will be the song that will continue for years as we continue complaining, because we are not ready for any change time soon. We are there to worship, to be loyal, to, to just go in for what is there, because we know those are the people who can. Yeah, somebody said on the inbox, I checked the comment section and people are like, the freedom that people celebrate now is as a result of Raila. Now, I'm wondering if we were looking at America and other countries, and if they kept saying one person made it, so we should just be in for it because they made it to have whatever changes are there. If you look at America, for example, the first time voters, women were allowed to vote, the first time that civil rights were appreciated, do you know whoever allowed this to be? Those people were killed and they were gone and they were forgotten. But then the current revolutions must go on, Like if you look at the aspect of sealing, the sealing is one of the campaigns that is being conducted in America. And if things were held as they were, then there's no day you could have expected Obama in the House. Now Trump is there and some people are still complaining. Now let's come back to Kenya. Now what is the picture and what is our focus and what do we want? Now that is Kenya for us. I've just found it very funny, and I'm trying to ask, if you are watching this video, what is your view? What do you think about whatever happened on Saturday? Yeah? Do we support this hiring of goons as they keep attacking and, controlling the nation and making one person a demagogue and making dynastities? And somebody was like, you remember, I've just remembered something about the George Ruto and the vehicles. And he was like, Metro has to go on. Metro is the vehicle to go. And he was like, stop following my vehicles because they just have to drive and they have to be left. Yeah, I appreciate Metro is a very good vehicle. If you go to Nairobi, some of the Kangware places, and if you're coming back to town, you feel so comfortable in them. But then, if somebody is commenting on dynasties and somebody says, let dynasties rule, what do you mean? Okay? What actually does that mean? We should ask ourselves questions, because if we continue supporting, we forget that tomorrow will be there. We think that it's only one person will be there. And of course, this person will suffer once, a humiliation once. But for us, we have to suffer it all our life as we keep complaining. I'm just wondering if this is the same Kenya that people are very much down before this handshake. And I wonder if anything has changed in their pockets, in their families, or what exactly are we supporting? Does it mean that we have to live as per one person making us support them just because we feel they are dynasty, demagogues? Okay, so that seems to be the situation. But I really want you to come on the inbox and comment on this, react, because that's actually the questioning. The reason why we do reactions is we want you to react. We want you to share your views. We want, more ideas from you. And nobody says politics is a game for the few. It's for everybody. Human beings are political in nature, and that's it. So bye-bye for now. Stay tuned.